Hello YouTubes and Happy New Year. Now that all that Christmas nonsense is out the way, it is time to get stuck into the layout build again. Now before I can get started on this section of the scenic areas, there's one more job I still have to do, and that is the section behind the platform to the wall. I didn't realise that once I did the station and everything and the platform, the area behind now kind of looks sunken down. So what I'm going to do is remove all these trees. I'm going to make a bit of an embankment sloping from there up a bit, just to allow these trees to give the illusion that they're going into the hill rather than into some sort of strange valley. So that's the plan for today. It shouldn't take too long. Well, it'll take me ages, but it shouldn't be too long a video. And I will of course be using my good friend Styrofoam. Let us begin by removing all these trees again. That is the good thing about Styrofoam. You just push your trees in wherever you want them. And I don't care about the damage underneath because it's going to be getting covered by Styrofoam. Right, let me quickly remove all these trees and then we'll take some measurements. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, thank goodness. So we are looking at, let's go with three inches deep. I'll check the other side. Yeah, 3 inches deep. And it doesn't have to be right up against the wall because there's going to be trees there anyway. And we want to cover pretty much everything behind the platform and a little bit more. So that's going to be 36, that's 3 feet. Let's go with around 6 feet. So 3 inches by 6 feet. Right, let's go over to my big white table. Unfortunately, I don't have a nice perfect 6 foot length for this stuff. So let's cut this into 3-inch sections, 3-inch strips, and we can do a bit of a patchwork thing, okay? Hopefully that'll be enough. Right, let me give it a quick vacuum up. Bit of a mess, this stuff. I'll be using the hot wire cutter for the next stage to make it a bit tidier. As it happens, this table is round about 6 feet. So as long as we get these sections to go end to end, we should be good. Let's see. So 2 sections isn't quite long enough. So I think what we'll do is we'll do it kind of like a brick wall because I want 2 levels because I want quite a decent slope. We'll only use one, it's only going to go about that much, that's not high enough. Even though I'm only going to use a tiny bit of the top layer. Anyway, let's see. So if we go one end to there, one end to there, put a bit in the middle. Let's not waste a good bit. Ugh. Oh, they're all fairly rubbishy bits. Let's just sacrifice this one, okay? And we will cut it round about there. Close enough. Right, hot wire cutter. Let's see if we can do a nice precise cut right down there in one go. Oh, yummy! Like cutting cheese in a non-farty kind of way. Right, let's patch them together. We'll get the next layer on top. I'll be using hot glue for this, but only on the outer edge because I'm going to be cutting and sculpting this edge, and I'm not sure how well this is going to cut through hot glue, even when it's cold. Let's see what we can patch together then. So that will go there, this will go there, and it is hanging off the edge of the table at the moment, which is fine because it's a bit pointy. So let's see if this one, I do want it to overlap that join though, so that's fine, that overlaps. Doesn't matter if it's rough at the front here, but I do want it kind of smooth at the back because I will be carving it out to the front. And then for the overlap, let's try this one because it's got a slope. Yeah, that's working as well. Don't worry about the gap. I'm going to be using some plaster cloth once I do all the moulding. I need one more bit at the other end. Let's see, let's try this. Oh, that could be the perfect bit. Close enough. Right, let me glue all that together. Can't do too much glue at once because it will cool down too quickly. I need to get a big long straight thing. Like this. That'll do it. That'll do for now. Once I've carved it all, then I can put more glue in there to hold it all together before we put the plaster cloth over it. But we need a lot of moulding work before we get there. Right, let's take this over to the layout, make sure it still fits in the slot. Try not to knock down all my lovely lights. Oh, need to go up a bit. Oh yeah, looks good to me. Now, I need to measure up about 1 centimetre from the bottom before I start cutting, and that'll be my line. Might as well do that now. Let me just chuck on some little black dots. Try not to get them on my platform. So anywhere below the black dot will be fine for carving. Okay, let's get back to the table for the fun. This is the bit I really like, terraforming. So there's no set in stone rules about terraforming because it's nature. I am going to run a line along those dots because that is the height of the platform, and I want it to start just below the height of the platform. So I will be beginning the carving just below that and sloping up the way. Okay, time to heat up the hot wire cutter. Let's start by taking a big chunk out of this top corner here, and we can just randomly work our way down. Important to take your time with this, because the wire will heat up and cool down faster or slower you go. Go too fast, you risk snapping your little wire. So I will take my time, get on with this, and I'll let you see what it's like at the end of this process. So this is where we are at the moment. It's not quite as rolling hillside as I was envisaging, but I think I'll make it work. Probably do a mixture of turf, static grass, and maybe a little bit of rock work where it's a bit steeper. Maybe some rock work along here. I need to stop hitting my little lights or I'm going to break them all. But not rock face all the way along, just a mixture. I think that's what I'll go for. So I'm going to take it back to the table and we're going to get some plaster cloth over it all. Now you could spend a fortune and go to a hobby store and get the proper plaster cloth, or you could go to Amazon and get a big bag of this. I think I got like 10 rolls of this stuff, and it's pretty much the same stuff. It's for bandaging up broken arms and stuff, used in hospitals. So as I say, fraction of the cost. I'll try and find a link, put it in the description below. Right, you will also need a tray of water, stiff brush, just get one of those cheap ones from Home Depot or hardware store, pair of scissors, kitchen towel, because it does get messy, and you might want to cover your table. I'm just using a bit of old laminate covering stuff that has been sitting in a row for the last 5 years, never getting used. So that's what I'm using. Okay, let's get started. Best to cut out all your strips first, and obviously you can't make them too long or they won't fit in your tray. So I need that length there, and I usually overlap them by maybe an inch or two. And this is going to be a nice height because I'm going to wrap it round like so. Okay, let me measure out some of them. Awesome, so I'm going for about 1.5 inches overlap. Right, the fun bit. We are going to grab our first piece, dunk it in the water. Don't leave it in for too long, it sucks up the moisture fairly quickly. Bit of a dunk, bring it out, put it in place. I like to wrap it underneath. And I don't always smooth it down, to be honest, because I kind of want it as natural looking as possible. But if you are going to brush it, make sure you wet your brush first, because you do want to get rid of all the little holes that you see in the plaster cloth. But then the more water you put on it, the longer it's going to take to dry. But that's the idea. As natural looking as possible. We can always go over this later with some, what do you use? Mud, we call it in Canada, for your walls. But I don't think I'm going to need it. Remember, this is all going to be covered by grass and trees anyway. Okay, one section done. Let me get the rest done. Okay, all going to plan. Obviously we need to wait for this to dry. It doesn't take too long, then we can go on with some paint. So I'm going to take Cooper out for a wee walk. See you in a bit. Now don't make fun of my dog in his parka. It's cold, it's Canada, it's winter. Right, go play, go. Come on. Hurry up, I've got a layout to build. Okay, let's see if this plaster cloth is dry. Dry enough. Right, paint. I'm going to cover the whole lot in some burnt umber dark brown. That'll do. Shouldn't take long for that to dry, then we can get some grass on it. Now, I was just going to cover this in static grass, maybe some bushes. I think I want to add just a couple of rocks, and I do have a box of rocks over there. Don't want to go too crazy. So these are made from the tinfoil moulds that I made, but that's not what I'm looking for. I am looking for preferably some rock moulds that I made a while ago. A bit of a train in here, New York Central. What are you doing in there? You're not a rock. Anyway, getting distracted. Not them. I'll know it when I see it. too big or too chunky. I kind of just want slithers. Ooh, that might work. You know, something neat. Put that one to the side. What else have I got? These are the sort of things I'm talking about. Just little hints. Okay, let's position them. Just looking for something very subtle. Maybe that could go there. Remember, there will be grass around them and trees, so it's just the odd bit of rock to break things up a bit. Maybe one more. Maybe this one. He's a funny shape. Yeah, something like that. So I will give them a bit of a black wash and then hot glue them on. See how they look. Let's try some very diluted black paint on a wee spongy brush applicator thing. The good thing about putting them onto this plaster rock, they dry really quickly. Moisture just gets sucked right up. Once they're dry, we can add some white highlights. Not so much highlights, but just a little bit of dry brushing with the white brush, but not until they're glued in place. Oops. Maybe a wee bit generous with the paint now. It's mostly water, to be fair. Okay. Put them somewhere to dry, but even at that, that's starting to look quite nice. Lovely. Really wasn't wanting any more than that. So let me wait for them to dry. I will glue them in place, and then we can do the grass. You blinked. Everyone thought you were a stuffed animal. Okay, we are dry. My little rocks are stuck on. Ready for some grass. Don't worry, these will look fine once there's grass all around them. Now, I don't want this to look too uniform, so I'm going to use some blended turf, which I'll just sprinkle on randomly. And I'll also use some dark static grass. I think this is quite short. And if it's still looking a bit uniform, we can wait till that coat dries, put on some lighter grass. But I'd rather just get on with this. It's going to be covered in trees anyway. Right, let's give it a blast. I shall load up my static grass applicator so that it's ready to go. Might as well fill this because it's going to take a lot. A bit lumpy, should probably sieve this first. That'll do. Okay, so static grass machine's ready. Let's get some glue down, sprinkle some of this on first. I'll just do this wee section first. Make sure the concept's going to work. I really don't want to be spending too much time on this. Just supposed to be a slope up the hill, for goodness sake. Turn that into a 3-day project at this rate. Okay, that'll do for now, just to get started. So let's try some blended turf. Look at that. Even these are obviously from like herbs and spicy jars, so actually no, I'll do it by hand. I don't want this stuff everywhere. I just want it random. Okay. Right, try some static grass in this bit. A little grounding pin. Hope this still works. It's quite a dark one. That's okay. Yes, my applicator still works. Should have tested it first, but hey, here we go. Oh yeah, that's working just fine. I'm not going to get to see the full effect till the white glue goes clear, but so far I'm quite liking that. Excellent. Right, let me get the rest done. Okay, I really need to wait for this to dry properly. Static grass, it's quite fragile when it's wet. Once it's dry, it's fine. At the moment, leave it alone. See you in a few hours. Alright, it's been a few hours. My grass is set. Time to put my hill back on the layout, or on the layout. I hope it still fits. Try not to knock down my little lamps. Let's see, let's go for there. Oh yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah, that's even better than I was expecting. Perfect. Obviously, still got the trees to go on, but that was the general look I was going for. A little bit patchy, which is ideal. And the trees will hide any imperfections. Although I kind of want it imperfect, which is just as well, because that's what it is. Just need to plant some trees and we'll be done with this little project. There we go then, another little section done. We can move on to something else. Now, I did say I was wanting to do this section, but I was teasing everyone with doing the national park area, so I think I'll need to do that next. I think that turned out okay. Let me know what you think. Was it worth the effort? And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Take care, and thank you to all my new members. Much appreciated. Bye for now.